Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 493, recorded on August 29, 2024. On this week's episode, with guest host John Blanco from the PlayStation Daily Plus podcast, we talk about Nintendo's Special Direct, Nintendo no longer repairing 3DSs, and the game mechanic we wish we could use in real life. Fleshy, you know what to do.
Creepy.
Oh man, that last part threw me off. Fleshy, you know what to do. That's great. All right, welcome everybody. This is the Nintendo Dads, of course, and I'm here with Jesse and our special guest host John. How you doing, John?
I'm good. How you guys doing? I'm happy to hang with you. I guess I'm Justin and Marty tonight, so
Yes.
I'll be angry about business. How about that?
Yes, please. That'd be awesome. You know, you gotta help us because slackers couldn't show up. So no, kidding. I'm kidding, Justin and Marty. All right, so Jesse, how's it going with you?
Going pretty good. It's good to hear John's voice again because I don't listen to his daily pod just because I have so many other shows on in my roster that if I banked them up, I'd be like a month behind.
Understood. And we'll get to learn more about John's PlayStation Daily Plus podcast later on too. So, and we'll find out that it's usually a short show. So you should be able to fit it in there somewhere, Jesse. Come on. No, I'm kidding. Anyways,
yeah, but a lot of the shows I listen to are like 2 to 2.5 hours, and I don't have a commute, so I'm normally driving for no more than 15 or 20 minutes a day. So just to it takes me a week just to get through that 2-hour show, and
yes.
Again, now I just lost 5 episodes right there.
But Jesse, if you go to the bathroom twice in a day, you can get through my show and John Wall's show. That's all I'm going to say.
I normally don't listen while I'm in the bathroom, but
maybe you should. Maybe it's a new thing.
Maybe I should.
All right, and I'm doing fine too, and we'll talk about how I'm recovering from a mini blackout over 24 hours. So we'll talk about that later. But until then, let's talk about the news. All right. The news and the ad-free version of this podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/NintendoDads. Huge thanks to all our Patreons for helping us create more great Nintendo Dads content and for making our community a better place. And thanks to our newest Patreons, we have reached our goal of 10 new Patreons for Marty's Pokemon Crocs. Because we had that goal. We could get at least 10 with a certain amount of time. Marty would have to buy those Pokemon Crocs that are coming out in September. So hopefully he can get a pair, and we'll get to see him wear those for a whole month. And then you'll hand them down to his son, who really likes the Pokemon that he's getting. Which one was it? The
Gengar.
Gengar, that's right. So stay tuned for Marty's updates on getting those Crocs, and I'm sure there'll be lots of social media posts on that stuff. But before we get into the news, to become a Patreon, doesn't just keep our lights on. The Patreons who subscribe for $1 or more also get access to our Discord, ad-free podcast feed, access to the dinner table, which happens every third Friday of the month in our Discord, and random prizes and giveaways. So there's lots to be had there if you're just paying $1 or more at the Patreon, including, like I said, ad-free. So that being said, let's jump right into the headlines, which is the Nintendo Direct that we had. It was a very special one too, guys. It was both an indie showcase.
I was half right. I said if we get one, it'll be an indie, and half of it was.
Yep. And I said that we'd get a partner direct, and you guys shot me down. You said, no way we're getting a partner direct. No.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting one until after the Switch successor announcement.
So I was half right as well.
What is a partner direct? I still can't define.
That-
What's the
that's
difference between a Nintendo Direct and a partner direct?
The Nintendo Direct is your first party announcements. Partner Direct is the third party announcements that isn't indie. So like your Square Enix, your Konami, your Capcom.
But you get that. So would you say a partner direct is just a Nintendo Direct without the Nintendo, right? Because everything else seems to be the same.
Yeah, it'll games that'll be on the Switch, but they're not from Nintendo. They're from other developers.
So
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
They will have a direct that has a little bit of all of those things, right? Depending on how big that direct is.
Yeah, it still
Right.
could
But
be
if
a
it's-
it still could be a Nintendo published game, but developed by a third party. That kind of I think that qualifies. But I don't think there was anything here that was Nintendo published.
Yeah,
in
but
this-
if
in this-
yeah, so if Nintendo doesn't have anything they're going to publish, they're not going to do a direct. That's when they decide to focus
like
on
in the
indie
past-
or partner.
In the past, Nintendo published Dragon Quest games, but in North America, but in Japan, they were published by Level 5 or Square Enix.
And I think these all started with 2020, didn't it? When Nintendo wasn't doing any directs,
They're fairly new, yeah. Last
and
few
they
years.
they kind of started with the partner directs to kind of boost information that they weren't doing.
Possibly, I haven't tracked that, but yeah, and of course, obviously, bigger than indie because indies have their own thing.
Yeah. But it was always cool to see the indie showcases come up, because then it was, they were focusing on indie games, and it wasn't going to Nintendo, a big Nintendo announcement wasn't going to, what do you want to take away from an indies announcement? So that's why I thought that was always cool when they started doing those things. And then of course the partner ones to help focus on those as well. So with that, let's talk about those, starting with the Indie World showcase that started off this direct. It had a total of 18 games and 4 were shadow dropped. So 18
Wow.
games out in there. So including, I'll just go over this real quick, and then of course you guys can talk about your favorites out of it. So, but let me go over the list of the 18 games. We had Balatro, which is talking about the free DLC. Neva, Moth Cubit, Coffee Talk Tokyo, the Sea of Stars DLC, Throes of the Watchmaker, Power Wash Simulator, Shrek Special Pack, Morsels, Date Everything, Peglin, Wobbly Life, Pico Park, Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX, Europa, was that Cuisineer? Cuisineer, On Your Tail, Metal Slug Tactics, The Plucky Squire, and Pizza Tower. All right, gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the first part of this direct with the Indie World? Any games that came out? John, I'll start with you. Any of those things pop out to you? And I know you talked about this during your daily plus podcast there, so
I'll talk about it again in a different language. No, I was initially, first game off the bat, the Balatro Friends of Jimbo, I was very excited for. I know, like, I was behind you, Tim, and Hambone and some others with my love of Balatro, but it has blossomed and then grown over the months, and I was very excited for it. So that was a kind of a great start to it. And then, we saw like the Neva thing, and there's a lot of announcements here for games that we already knew about, which maybe isn't totally unusual, but
Yeah,
I thought the game that I thought was really the coolest was Morsels. Morsels had kind of like an animal well, like, visual vibe. I don't know really what game it is, and I think it comes out next year. But that's the game,
February.
I think. Oh yeah, so that's pretty quick. But it looked really cool, and it looked really polished. I was just like watching the gameplay stuff, and it's like, that looks really neat. And in many ways like Balatro, because I think part of the charm of Balatro is it is so polished and neat looking. So
yeah.
I'm excited for Morsels. And then I was really excited that Pizza Tower got released.
That
That's
was
cool.
that one surprised me.
I
Yeah,
remember
and-
everybody kind of trying to call that one out whenever people were trying to guess what was going to come a few times.
Yeah, and I feel like this time nobody predicted it, and it came out, and all I could
That's
do
how it
was
usually
laugh,
goes, right? Yeah.
because the people who made Anton Blast announced their game months ago, and I think it's supposed to come out. When does that game come out, Jesse? Like, isn't it like late in the year?
I'm checking.
Okay,
I
and
got my list.
like they got beat to the punch, and maybe a lot of people will play Pizza Tower now, and then when it comes to Anton Blast, they'd be like, I played Pizza Tower, I'm good now.
November 12th.
Yeah, there's a huge gap.
I was wondering if we got Pizza Tower. I thought it'd be funny if both games came out the same day.
That would be crazy.
Not expecting it to be a shadow drop.
Does that game that's coming out, the other one you guys are talking about in November, does it have a link to Pizza Tower?
It's very similar gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's definitely some inspiration there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Running around manically to the end and then reverse back.
Okay.
Type of play.
Why did it look like a cartoon version of Sonic to me? Is that what it is? Basically a Sonic game? Is this what that? Because it's a
Pizza Tower?
fast-paced running. Yeah, Pizza Tower. You're running through the board like a Sonic game to get
Maybe
from
if you
one end to another.
described it in words, you could compare it. But I mean, just the look of it and everything
The
just
look of
looks
it, no,
more
not
crazy.
at all.
I think
the
more people
gameplay.
compare it to like a Wario
Okay.
Land type of game with
Well-
a little more speed.
I was gonna say, is there a cross between Mario and Sonic then? So, because when I was watching it, it just reminded me of the mechanics of Sonic.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know.
We're all wondering about you, Tim.
I know everybody always wonders about me.
I threw it on my wish list. I watched Marty's first look, and I just don't know if like it's a game I would enjoy. Maybe I'll try it on a sale down the road.
It's not a me game, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mecha Dragon says it's basically Wario Land 5 from what I heard.
Never played it. And I'm excited for Metal Slug Tactics, but it's it's a game we saw. Pico Park 2 was
That
weird
was a
looking.
weird one.
Yeah, and it starts off with the two characters with the rope tied between them. And I was watching it with my wife, and we played that penguin game that I did a first look on, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. You guys got so angry at that game, right?
We got so angry for that game because you have to climb a mountain, and if you fall, you have to climb back up. And Pico Park 2 looked like more linear left to right. And I was like, oh, okay. Like if you mess up, you just replay that section a little more sane. But like 8-player co-op, like I would love to play that with like 8 people in the Discord. I think it's local co-op only.
Oh yeah.
I think so. But that would be really fun to play with
lag
people.
would kill the game.
Yeah. Oh my God. It would be so frustrating. So I might try to get my family to play it, but I don't know if my kids would be totally into it or get bored or whatever. But I thought that'd be fun with like 8 adults in a room with spiked Baja Blast, playing it. I think that would be a good time. So
that sounds good. I'll come on over then.
Yeah. What did you think? Well, I know you're talking about yours. I'm curious to think what you think about Sea of Stars DLC.
Oh, I'm so excited for that because of especially the watchmaker. I thought it would be so cool if because I beat the game and beat the second part of it too. And I was like, and in order to get the second part, you had to complete the watchmaker side quest.
I never did that. Okay. So do you know much about like what it's going to be? Like obviously not standalone, but like maybe just in that part of the game?
Well, it looks like it's all new because it's based on a carnival. So it's all new stuff. You get new powers and a new side partner to go with you. New ally. And it's in a new area that you haven't played. It's a circus.
Okay, so you think it's going to be like a separate save file sort of situation?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The way they presented it, it sounded like it was going to be you you can play with the same two characters, but it doesn't have anything to do with the story. I don't even think you have to finish the game to play that part, or you may have to have done the watchmaker part of it. Because I think you have to beat her at the the table game.
Oh,
I
that
forget what that
little
was
like
called.
mini game.
Yeah,
Oh,
you have to beat.
I couldn't. I can't play that game.
I think and if they were smart, they probably wouldn't base it on that. But I thought I heard something about that, but maybe they changed it to make it easier so that anybody can play that DLC.
Okay.
That I'm not clear on whether how far you have to be in the game in order to access that part of the DLC.
Okay.
So, but it looks cool because from what I do know is that you aren't using any of the same abilities that your two characters have. You get all new abilities. The girl gets some sort of Joker or juggling abilities, and then the guy
You know,
gets
I thought he was the juggler.
oh, he was a
and
juggler, and then
she was
the
more of a
acrobat.
jester. Yeah, like her idol pose is her bouncing on her hands.
Yeah, she's the acrobat and he's the juggler. So, but maybe I got that backwards too. Maybe it's the other way around. But
I
anyways,
think it's that sounds right.
they get the new abilities, and then there's a new third character that joins your party that you get to do the story. So that I'm really excited about it. It is, of course, Sea of Stars, I think was my game of the year last year. So who knows? Maybe the DLC would make this my game of the year this year. We'll see.
Ooh. Yeah, I did roll credits on the game, but I did not go all the way like you did, or
You didn't
yeah.
get the true ending. No.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I never got past that fish area on the way to the true ending.
Well, if you don't plan on doing the true ending, I would say go watch a video of somebody who did it. I think it's a good ending.
You know, the way that game ended was disappointed me.
Agreed.
I remember you talking about that. You didn't like how
I
it ended.
was-
That's why I said do the true ending, because that would make up for it.
Yeah, I
know it's
remember
harder.
I was so upset with how that game ended, and then Princess Peach Showtime did the exact same damn thing.
Oh, that's funny. So, anything else in there, John, that you saw?
I don't know. I was actually pretty high on it, and then when I was thinking about it, I'm excited for Plucky Squire. I'm gonna be playing that, and that one's coming to PS Plus. So I mean, that's definitely kind of gonna play that one day one.
Yeah.
Metal Slug Tactics. I'm excited for. We knew about that one. Shovel Knight. I thought I was in on Shovel Knight DX, but like for some reason while I was watching Indie World and they were showing like because this DX version is more like the it's like the ultimate version, right? They prettied it up a little bit. They added
Mhm.
like a whole bunch of mods and stuff.
And
But
there's like
in the
20
end,
playable characters.
It's the
yeah.
Game Boy Color version.
I mean, there is not many games better than Treasure Trove, right? And all the great DLC that comes with it. You can play it forever. But it's like I have everything in Treasure Trove, and like I don't want to buy another version of the game that sits separate. Like, unless you tell me that that game comes with all the DLC, then maybe I would buy the whole package. But I think it's just the Shovel Knight game. So I don't know. I'm probably not going to buy into it. I'm happy enough with the original game. I don't think I need it. So
The original game on 3DS
on everything.
on everything. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have the Switch Treasure Trove and I've played through all the
Oh, okay.
DLCs
Gotcha.
and
All
I
right.
haven't 100%ed anything except for the King of Cards DLC. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm good. And I love everything
Nice.
that Yacht Club does. Like all of their games are good. I've played them all. They're great. But I don't think I'm in on that. But
Got it.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if any more news comes out before it comes out in 2025, if anything new is added or any additional things. So
Possible.
cool. Jesse, anything pop out for you on this?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Plucky Squire. I've said I'm interested in On Your Tail. I think we've seen that
Yeah,
twice in the past.
we've
This
seen
is
it
the
a
third
couple
time.
times.
Third time we've seen it, but we finally have a release date. That's November 21. There's a lot of games coming out in November that I want to play. I downloaded Peglin, gave that a few runs. I'll talk about more about that later. Like the head slapper of why is date everything.
That was very interesting when that came out. I think yeah, I hadn't seen it yet, and I forgot about it because I went on lunch at work and I went into the Discord immediately and was reading through the Nintendo Stuff channel, and the first comment I saw, I think, was from you, John, about this game. And I was like, what is he talking about? And then I was like, oh crap, that's right. There was the Nintendo Direct. So I stopped reading anything else and went and watched it. And I was like, oh, that's the game he was talking about. Date everything. So that is very interesting. You can even date the chat box or the dialogue box in the game.
Right.
Xbox Gen or something.
But they're a person. Like it's like a I think a lady
they
in
become
a dress.
A person. Yes.
Yeah. That's weird. There's so many dating games now, right?
They must be popular enough. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. That is a different one for me for sure. What else, Jesse?
Kind of reminded me of like what Boyfriend Dungeon, just on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not going to be playing Date Everything. That's really everything that jumped out at me. CSRs, I'll probably give it a try just because as long as it's still free on. I think I played it on Xbox. I don't remember where I played it, but it's free on Xbox. It's free on PlayStation. I just had to pay for it on Switch, and the DLC is free. So no matter where as soon as I can find out what system I played it on, then I can play the DLC for it.
Yep. I played mine on the PlayStation, so I'll probably play it there too. The DLC there.
Yeah. I think that was everything here. Nothing else really jumped out at me.
Okay.
You play previous Coffee Talk games? That sounded like a Tim game when I saw that.
No, I did not play any of the Coffee Talk games because when that game came out, I wasn't really into that kind of game yet. I did play that Tavern Talk game, which is kind of similar.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But I like that more. I like that more because of the ability to me, it seemed like there was more interactivity with being the innkeeper and making drinks that help the patrons there get more patrons.
Right.
What is it? Patreon or Patreon?
Patrons.
Patrons. Jeez, oh Pete. It's hard to figure out because it's like it's patron, the site, or patrons.
No, Patreon.
Okay, Patreon, the site, patrons, the people. So, all right.
Yes.
Anyways,
we'll test
the patrons were the ones I would give abilities to when they went on their quests. So that's why I like Tavern Talk a lot. Where Coffee Talk is, it just seems like you're listening to stories, and I don't know what else goes on there.
I always see it as like a narrative game, but you're sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
But you're making it sound like there's like rival gangs here between like Tavern Talk and Coffee Talk, and
yes,
we don't play the other game.
No, I'd have to learn more about it. But the Tokyo one, Coffee Talk Tokyo, seemed interesting because it looked like there was some very interesting characters in the game for that too. So, some of the things that popped out for me was, of course, Balatro DLC. John, you were talking about that in your show too. Like you played it, and all it was just you found out surprisingly that it was just a theme update because of the 4 different themes for each suit of cards, right? So there's Witcher 3, which represents one suit, Vampire Survivors another suit, David Diver another suit, and then Among Us the 4th suit. I don't remember exactly which ones those are, but
yeah. And it's only per like, so like the Witcher is only the spades.
Yes.
and Among Us is the hearts. So
Yes.
it only skins
Okay.
one. And
Yep.
they're kind of neat looking, kind of, if you've played like 400, like you have 400 hands of Balatro, then it changes it up a little bit. It might blow your mind, but like that's all
Right.
it really is. It's just a set of 12 graphics.
You don't think there's nothing hidden there, maybe that the cards do something?
Not that I've seen. No,
All right.
I haven't seen anybody talk about it. I would love
Can
it.
you only
That's what I
turn
thought it
on one
was.
suit at a time, or can you mix and match them?
You can, yeah, it's you can do all 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever, but you can only do like for the spades, Witcher or the default. Like that's it. So
Okay.
they're dedicated. Yeah. So I mean, I turned them all on, and I've actually played all these games, so that's what's really neat. And I was especially excited when I saw The Witcher at first, and I kind of was like, like, wow. But yeah.
Did you catch what it was when he when the voice said, he hated portals or something like that? Did
Oh
you
yeah,
catch what was going on there?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it was a little disappointing, but it's great. It's there, but I was super excited about it, and then I was like super let down. I actually played a whole hand of Balatro and was like, I didn't see anything, and then I looked it up, and it's like go to settings and then go to deck settings. Ta-da! It's like
Yeah,
that was disappointing.
themes.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of made it seem like there would be something that happens, but if it's just themes, that's cool in a way, but it would be kind of cooler if there was some surprise mechanic that happened or whatever.
Right. And I think it's one developer, so maybe that's it. They couldn't do too much.
Yeah.
But Balatro is coming to Dave the Diver, and like they kind of put the whole game in there. It's kind of weird. So there's definitely more to it in Dave the Diver. But that's
okay.
a big company with a huge team. So
Yeah.
that's probably why this is happening.
Makes sense. And I know there's a bigger update coming to Balatro in 2025, if I remember correctly. So, all right. Yeah, I was excited about that. And then the Moth Cubit kind of looked interesting too. It's basically you're a little bug going around corporate building, I think, if I remember correctly, trying to find out about these corporate conspiracies. And one of the mechanics that really caught my eye was the ability to shrink, almost like Minish Cap in a way, where you shrink and then you go around and to be able to get other areas of the room that you couldn't do if you were normal size. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, he has stars. Morsels looked interesting too, just very trippy. Peglin, I am also interested in because of the mechanics, and I know there's a lot of people talking about it in our Discord about kind of Slay the Spire feels to it. I understand from some people.
It has from what I've seen, it has the structure of it. You play a level, you choose a power up, and you kind of ascend and whatever.
Okay.
But like I still feel like it's the game for people who need like a Peggle fix.
And that's I always like when they use games like that to make a interesting video game out of it. Like even like pinball. Like when they did pinball and made it a Metroidvania game. I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah,
I forget the name too, but I know what you're talking about.
That was really cool. So I like it when they mix things up like that.
Yeah, that was a good game. Too bad we can't remember the name.
Can't remember the name of it. Was it something Express or something like that? I don't remember.
Oh, Yoku's Island Express, I think is. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. That's a really good game.
So I like it when they do stuff like that and mix mechanics.
I remember I tried playing that game on PS5 or like PS4 streaming.
Yeah.
And it was lousy streaming.
Oh yeah, Mecha Dragon said Yoku's Island Express. Yep, that's what it was. We were just talking about Balatro. That's another good mix of different things like poker and roguelike. So I like stuff like that. So that's why that interested me. And then Europa has a demo available, and I'm glad it does because that it looks like a beautiful game, but I don't know how much of gameplay is there. That's that one where it looks beautiful and you're flying around and stuff like that. I don't know if it's just exploring, like an exploring game, or if there's actual.
It reminded me of like, remember, was it Baldo? Like that kind of game?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked. I didn't take from the trailer like there wouldn't be much to it or whatever. I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe I looked at it wrong. I thought it was just kind of your typical kind of adventure game. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Well, it did look like an adventure, more of exploring than than battling, I guess, but maybe I missed something. So maybe I'm not remembering enough there, but there's a demo. I want to try it out. So that one did pop out to me. And the Pizza Tower game, I know everybody else is excited about it, but again, it reminds me too much of Sonic. That's why I'm not interested. So I don't know. Maybe if there was a demo of that, I would give it a try at least. So, all right. Anything else about the indie world, you guys? If not, let's go to the.
I think we can move on.
Let's go to the partner showcase, which had 30 games and included 2 shadow drops out of the 30 games. And the first one given was Tetris Forever.
Before we start, I want to say I don't think I've ever typed "including the following games" as many times. so many collections.
That's true, and this is one of them. Tetris Forever. Did anybody see this one coming? Did we think we were going to get a Tetris collection?
I did not see this coming.
The collection includes 1988 Famicom version, Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Tetris Battle Gaiden, Hatris, Super Bomb Bliss DX, Super Tetris 2 plus Bomb Bliss, Super Tetris 3, and new game Tetris Time Warp, which looked really cool actually, because you're play against multiple people, right? And it switches up the boards from the various types of Tetrises. But drops in 2024. And were you guys excited about it? Oh, and it sounded, if I remember correctly, it also has some content about the history of Tetris too, right? Kind of like your documentary video games type of thing. So that looked really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a what is that, digital eclipse sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love how they do that stuff.
When I first saw it, I was like thinking, oh, that's the Tetris I remember on PC a long time ago, right? When I think of the most memorable Tetrises, I think of the one that I played on the computer, the one in the arcade, the one on Game Boy. And, this one didn't have any of those. It definitely had nostalgia, but...
Yeah, though the Tengen Tetris is, I think, more like the arcade game you're thinking of.
Yeah, I like that Tengen one too.
And they're obviously not going to include that here.
Why not?
Never.
So, also with that announcement, right? They along with the announcement, they mentioned that the NES version of Tetris will be available to play on NSO coming this winter in 2024. And then, of course, Tetris Maximus will have a 40th anniversary of Tetris as well.
Are they sure they didn't want to wait till like spring of 2025 or fall of 2026? I mean, like, why is it so long from now?
Right. Who knows?
Tetris.
just do it.
And the game almost doesn't seem like it makes sense, just because there's so many other ways to play a bug fixed version of NES Tetris that's just freely available anyway. They use it for competitions. That doesn't it still crashes on the crash scenes, but it doesn't. It rolls over the score differently. So and your level, so it makes sense in higher levels. I don't know, but for those who aren't in that scene, I guess this makes sense. But if people are big Tetris players, they're not going to play this version of Tetris.
Well, Vic in our Discord, and who's also in our chat, is a huge Tetris fan, and he said yes, all the Tetris. So I was hoping he was going to be around when we were talking about this. So he says, I'm going to have so much content to make once Tetris Forever drops. So yeah, he's excited about it. He's our big Tetris fan. So I was wondering how he felt about it. He seems very excited about it.
We're excited. You're excited.
Yes, we are. All right. The next game that showed up was Star Overdrive. It's a timed console exclusive and comes out in 2025. Do you guys remember this one? This is that hoverboard 3D environment game where you're just
not for me.
Is this new?
Yeah.
Anybody? Is this new or is this like an old game?
I believe
think it's a new
new
game.
Okay.
I have not seen it. I'm intrigued by it, for sure. It looks like some cool mechanics with the, hoverboard flying around, having to grab some things and fight some things, and
Mm.
um, I
riding
want
through
things.
half pipes and whatnot.
Right. All the things. I'm looking forward to learning more about this one. It's definitely interesting looking. It does look kind of like I don't know, what did you guys think of the graphics?
Nothing. I'm older. Like
It
nothing impresses me anymore.
yeah, it kind of looked mid to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't outstanding to me either. It
Yeah.
just looked like a generic 3D adventure game type of graphics.
Yep. I
I
agree.
was looking for more out of it too, I think. And that's probably what didn't make it jump out more for me. Was I was a little like you said, it kind of looked mid. Like they're still working on it, maybe. I don't know. That's why it's coming out in 2025.
That's possible.
So
Speaking of mid,
Goat Simulator 3 came out that day. You guys excited about Goat Simulator games?
not at
I
all.
haven't played any of them. So
My kids like Goat Simulator. It was hard not to notice how rough a version of Goat Simulator this is, and it's probably unfair at this point to start calling Nintendo Switch versions of games rough, but it's just hard not to notice. It's like, ooh, what happened to Goat Simulator? But I get that game came out like what, a year and a half ago, maybe, or maybe a couple of years ago. I can't remember.
a couple of years ago, because I think they just announced or just came out Goat Simulator 4, right?
Did they? I don't know if I heard
I
about
haven't
that,
heard.
but
Yeah.
No?
Simulator
Okay.
3 on Steam came out in February.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Do you think it just took this long to make the Switch port, or they just recently decided, hey, let's get some more sales and put it on Switch?
Probably took this long to get it to where they wanted it.
Some developer in the corner, you done with that thing yet? It's like, it keeps crashing.
Oh wow.
He failed a bet or something.
The original Goat Simulator was released on April 1st, 2014. That's
That's
an
very
April Fool's
appropriate.
an April Fool's game.
Very appropriate. I'm sure somebody worked really hard on getting that on the Switch. So kudos to them for doing that. And who knows if there's anything that will help improve it when the next Switch comes out. So there's always hope for that. And who knows, maybe again it could be a lot better by the time, or it could be a lot better when you're actually playing it. Because there are
Mhm.
games that look a little rough, but if it's fun, it's fun. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter how rough it looks. All right, next up is Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the first. Comes out in 2025. To be honest, I don't remember this one.
Yeah, it's like
This
a
is part of
remake
a
of
big
the
series.
original. It's a remake of the original game. I've
Okay.
never played any game in the series.
I feel like
I
there's
think
so
the-
many
the-
games
I
for
think
it.
the Switch
and so
has
many
like
ports.
5 different Legend of Heroes games.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's rapid fire. You're constantly getting like versions and ports and updates, and it's hard to keep track.
That's kind of like the I can't say it. Artillery. Atelier.
I can't help you.
Atelier.
Atelier. There, you don't say the R. Atelier.
You don't say the R.
Yumia. You don't say the R. Sorry. Yeah, Yumia. That's that other one.
We call it AY.
AY.
Yeah.
The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. That was mentioned later on in the direct, early 2025. And there's a lot of Atelier games as well on the Switch.
Yeah, there
And
are
other
5
systems.
Legend of Heroes games, of which there's like Trails of Cold Steel, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 6 Legend of Heroes games.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And considering that we don't even have Trials of Cold Steel 1 and 2, there are 2 more games that we don't have.
Okay. They mentioned, I'm going to try to mention some of these updated games series that we've talked about before, or service games like Star Wars Hunters. They mentioned that being, season 3 starts in September. Disney Dreamlight Valley is going to have a new event coming out. Um, what else was there? There was Just Dance going to get a new edition, of course. EA Sports has FC 25 coming out. So there's a lot of updated information there about those games. Are you guys
Does
excited about any of those?
Just Dance for sure.
Okay.
But does anyone play Dreamlight Valley? That game was huge when it came out, and I keep forgetting that exists. It's just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's the Drew game.
He played it a ton. And then
Yeah.
he started playing Speedstorm, right? The Disney Speedstorm game.
Yes.
But
The racing game for sure.
no, I don't know if Drew played it. I think his wife was playing it. He was there. She was playing it on his Switch.
Okay.
But I don't know anybody that's playing that game anymore. I wonder what the numbers are. I'm sure there's people playing it, but
Yeah, I
nobody
never
talks
played
about
it.
I played it for a bit and I got bored. So I moved on and played something else. All right. Let's see. I'm excited about the Star Wars Hunters, but to be honest, I didn't even play season 2, and I was more excited about that one than this Star Wars season 3. So
Kind of crazy. They're on season 3 already.
yeah, they do quick turnarounds on those, it seems like.
I feel
All
like
right.
if you do the seasons too quickly, and like in your case, you miss a season, you really demotivate people to like continue on because you feel like you missed stuff. And now
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
like,
point.
okay, I'll play a game that starts at season 1 again or whatever. So maybe
And
they shouldn't rush so fast.
even if the season didn't give you all the currency to buy the next season,
Yeah.
if you didn't play a season 2, you got to pay all of season 3 cost.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're charging for it though. I think the seasons are free, right?
Are they? Okay, I'm thinking like Fortnite Battle Pass type of thing. I didn't know if that did it here
Well,
or
it
not.
is free to play, but you do unlock more if you pay for the battle pass type thing.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm gonna find out how much that battle pass is.
okay.
This sounds funny calling it a Battle Pass in a game that doesn't battle.
No, you do battle. It is Hunters
Dreamlight
is
Valley? No, Dreamlight. I thought we were talking about Dreamlight
Oh,
Valley
no, I was
still.
talking about Hunters.
Oh,
Well, which one are you guys talking about? You guys talking about Valley?
I was talking about
like-
Hunters.
okay. Ignore me then.
So it costs $10 per season.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Not terrible.
You get some extra stuff in there, it seems like, too. So all right, the next game that came up was Stalker, Legends of the Zone Trilogy. November 2024. That's coming out then, and then Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition.
That one looked kind of
can't-
cool. I used to play Worms back on PC back in the day.
That was a great game. Like being like did you do like the rope? Like being a great rope user was so empowering in this
I
game.
think I was lousy with the rope. I just like
Okay.
bazookas. Just
Worms
blowing
is
things
great.
up with the bazooka.
That was one of my favorite games to play on my PC in college in the 90s.
I think my youngest daughter wanted me to buy the Worms game on PlayStation 4. So I bought it, and I don't know if she ever played it.
The Holy Hand Grenade.
How about the SpongeBob
Right.
SquarePants, the Patrick Star game? Patrick Star game. You guys gonna get that one? That's
No.
game
Like a
of the
Jesse
year
game.
right there. That's game of the year. There's another SpongeBob game, and then Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer. John, you mentioned this on your show that you were interested in this.
Well, I don't know if I'm interested in it, but I did
Okay.
play the first game. I have it somewhere on the shelf here. And then I would do some workouts to it. I mean, it's like you just stand there and you do uppercuts and punches and jabs and stuff like that. And then after you do a workout, you earn, I don't know, like some XP or currency, and then like you can buy like a new hat. And then your trainer has a hat. And
Nice.
you either pick like you can pick the tough guy or the cute girl, like whatever. And now they have like 6 trainers or so. There's definitely one that I would choose.
They
But
added 2 more.
yeah, so I
Okay.
don't know. I think a good workout game is really important, and that's why I love Just Dance. but this is it looks like they were like going for starting your workouts really quickly. So that's kind of cool to see. It's popular. They've made 3. So I don't know anybody who's playing it, but people are. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I see them in the stores all the time, and it seems like it's popular. But like I said, I don't know anybody in our Discord who plays it. So, but it'd be interesting to hear if anybody else plays it and let us know how that is. We got more Capcom Fighting Collection 2, along with the Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection. So that's 3 total collections we'll have on the Switch, which is great. I'm excited about the Marvel versus Capcom. For sure. And then the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 has a lot of included games that Jesse wrote out, which is including the Capcom versus SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Capcom versus SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Project Justice, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein, Power Stone, and Power Stone 2.
Tim, you were breaking up there. Can you read that list again?
No. Rewind. This comes out in 2025, and then the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection comes out September 12th.
Oh, which games are in that one?
That I don't have a list.
Yeah, well,
I think there's
That was
more.
already announced.
yeah, but the announcement here was the date, because before we didn't know the date.
Yes. So I know a lot of people are excited about that, and if I'm sure it's going to be on a lot of people's Christmas list if they don't pick it up day one. Another game announced was Suikoden 1 and 2 HS
Suikoden.
Remaster. Sure. Gate Ruin and Dunin Unification Wars.
This is like the troll partner direct, by the way.
Yes, this is like make the person
Take
who
that,
can't
content creators.
make the person who can't pronounce things read these things. Sure, good.
I have heard a lot of people talk about Suikoden for years and years and years. People love this game. So this is actually kind of interesting. I can't tell how much of a remaster or remake it is, though. I didn't play the originals. Did you play it, Jesse? It seems like a Jesse game.
No, I don't think I've ever played the Suikoden games.
Suikoden. See, I just need to hear you guys say it. So
Just pretend like it's sweet. It's Suikoden is sweet.
Suikoden. All right. And the next one that I know Jesse's excited about is Dragon Quest 3.
Before we get to that, back up when there was Atelier Yumiya. I looked and there's like 15 or 16 Atelier games on the
Right?
Switch.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
That's what I was mentioning when you were looking up the other game. I was saying we got that one coming out, and there's a ton of that series out there already.
Yeah, I remember like playing one of the games on the PS3 and I liked it, and I actually New Game Plused it and played a second time through. I tried one of the modern ones and I didn't like it, so they
Interesting.
really changed the crafting mechanic to make it really convoluted, and so I didn't like it.
Maybe there's one that goes back to the way it was originally. Sometimes companies will do that, right?
I'm sure if you played one of the older games, we'll probably still have that older techniques.
Okay.
But
so
yes, Dragon Quest 3. Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that
2D
one.
remake, November 14th.
I pre-ordered the physical collector's edition on that one, so I'll likely not yet have it when it releases on November 14th, but I'll be playing that as soon as it comes in.
Nice.
Is the collector's edition one of those like Square Enix ones, or is that in stores?
Square Enix one.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
I might be in
ordered it
on
from the
this one
Square
too.
Enix store.
Excellent. So lots of people playing it for sure. Do we have a Dragon Quest? We have a Dragon Quest channel, right? Don't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured we did.
I think
It's a
I
Jesse
think I'm the only
requirement.
one. I think I'm the only one talking in it from when I was playing. Earlier this month or last month when I was playing Dragon Quest 8, which I still want to get back to, but
Did that channel start back with like 11? Because I
Probably.
played 11. 11's great.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been. I think it's been. I think it came. We created it with 11, and I think it's been archived and restored multiple times.
Nice. All right, next up that was announced and it was dropped that day, shadow dropped. It was Castlevania Dominus Collection, which includes the following games: Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, which is a continuation of
Aria?
Castlevania game of Aria that was in the Advanced Collection. So keep that in mind. And then also Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, Castlevania Order of
Ecclesia.
Ecclesia, thank you. I just heard it too because I was playing it earlier. Haunted Castle and Haunted Castle Revisited. But yes, I downloaded this immediately because I did not get to play these games, and these are all the Castlevania games, not the haunted ones, I don't think, but the Castlevania ones were all DS games, and I was so curious in how they implemented that on the Switch. I had to open up one of these games, and I started with Order of Ecclesia. And it's really cool how they did it. So it uses the whole real estate of the screen where you get the top screen in to the left, and then you get the touch screen in two panels to the right of that screen. So you can see everything that you normally would just like tap on or access on the touch screen on the DS, but to the right of the Switch screen or the main game screen. And you can actually touch that stuff on your touch screen. So it still acts just like it would on the DS. But bonus is that on the main screen, you can still, like, when I had to type my name, I could still type my name on the touchscreen when you're using handheld mode.
How do
So
you
it's a DS game on your Switch.
can you play in docked or the controller?
Yep, you can play docked mode, and it tells you what controls you can use to be able to basically use like a mouse type effect with your
Okay.
right stick, if I remember correctly, and then interact with the right trigger button.
So I assume it's just a better game to play in handheld mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least for my opinion, yes.
Yeah.
But those three are DS games on the Switch: Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia. I played Portrait of Ruin on the DS and loved it. It was one of my favorite Castlevanias when I played it there. So, but I missed out on the two games that the Aria one that was on the DS, or excuse me, the not the DS, the Advance, Game Boy Advance, and then the Dawn of Sorrow, which was the second game that came out on the DS. I missed out on both of those, so I'm excited to be able to play those. Of course, you got to have the
Yes.
Advance collection in order to play the other one, but
How many collections are there? Is this the second collection or I think the third collection
It's
now?
third
Okay.
Castlevania
Third
collection.
Castlevania collection.
Oof. It's a lot of Castlevania.
I have them all.
And Haunted Castle is the arcade version, right?
I
think it's well, the original
I don't know
Haunted
what it
Castle
is.
I think is arcade, and then
Okay.
Revisited might have been released
It's a
on
reimagined version of it, I
a
think.
console at the time. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that one came from.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the DS games. That's why I didn't pay attention to the other stuff.
I've heard
But I'm excited
the
about
arcade
that.
version is not as good. It came out before all the Castlevanias came out. Like they ported Castlevania to the NES, and it was like much better. But it's like it's a very difficult game in the arcade and kind of frustrating and stuff. But at the
Okay.
same time, I find that stuff like totally fascinating. And I think they didn't they? I think they released that on the what is that Arcade Archives collection? I think they released that on Arcade Archives.
Oh,
too.
did they? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's got a very interesting history to it. You might check that out.
I don't know if Haunted Castle Revisited was released previously. I'm trying to search for it, and everything I'm seeing is from 2 days ago. So that might be something new with this collection.
Okay. Very cool.
And they do
also
have
mentioned-
Arcade Archives for Haunted Castle.
And then Haunted Castle was arcade 1987.
Wow. Was
and
that 20 years ago?
27.
Mecha Dragon
37.
said basically it's a harder NES Castlevania for arcade. That's what he was saying too in our chat.
Yeah, it's supposed to be much harder. Although, I mean,
Oh, it's designed to be a quarter gobbler.
Yeah, it took me decades to beat Castlevania on NES. I mean, I did that like 12 years ago for the first time in my
Well,
life. So,
Yeah, well, I think that game was one of those intentionally harder in North America because of the rental market,
Mhm.
and you didn't have the ability to save like you could on disc system.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper stopped me for a ton of time, and then Dracula.
I
mean, just
don't know if I ever beat the original Castlevania. I beat the second one.
Oh, really? Oh, Simon's Quest. Simon.
Yeah, Simon's Quest, and I beat the third one.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play Simon's Quest. That was one of the original AVGN games, and it looks fascinating to me. I never played it.
Yeah, you play it with a guide. There are things in there you would never figure out without a guide.
Okay.
Next up is Sid Meier's Civilization 7. And
Did
it
you say
comes out.
Sid Meier's?
Yes.
He's very
Sid
offended.
Meier's.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have a Meyer Thrifty
Put some
Acre.
respect on the name.
I have Meyer here, which has a J in it, and that's how I know it's a Meyer, not. And I see Meier. That's Mears.
The man is a legend.
Sid Meier's.
He puts his name on all the games. There's like Sid Meier's Pirates, right? And Sid Meier's Civilizations. It's like, wow.
Yes. He comes
Didn't
out
Peter
February
Molyneux
11th,
do that
2025.
until that was a bad idea?
So a much harder name to say though.
Anybody surprised that this one's coming? I mean, we saw this announced before, but anybody surprised?
Yeah,
that we're seeing next
I think-
Civilization here.
Did we have the release date before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think the release date's new.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember when they originally announced Civ 7, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because of just getting it on the Switch.
Just
Yeah,
getting
just-
it on the Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that to be on the Switch. I would have thought that maybe the Switch announced with the Switch's successor.
I know 6 is on the Switch. Maybe it sold
Yeah.
really well. Maybe they made it a priority to get it on the Switch.
That's true.
If it didn't sell well, the 6, I doubt they would have put it on the Switch. So
Very
I'd be
true.
curious what the sales
Mhm.
were.
That's a
Yeah, but I'm sure a game like that probably plays better on a PC versus any console.
I'm sure there's people that would agree with you on that. All right, next one is Tales of Grace F Remastered, January 17th, 2025. Then we've got
Another bundle.
another bundle, which is My Sims Cozy Bundle, which includes My Sims and My Sims Kingdom. Comes out November 19th, and pre-orders are available. Anybody? I predicted this, but nobody.
Did you?
nobody's. Yeah, I said that in our Discord. I said we were going to get a
He
Sims
did.
game.
He did.
We got the bad Sims game though. You monkey pawed this.
Yeah, you were expecting Sims 4, but nope.
We got My Sims.
It's a Sims game, but whatever.
It's a cool looking game. I remember seeing it on the Wii and it was like, it doesn't look like The Sims.
Yes.
I don't know. This could be a cozy game. I asked my wife, I was like, would you be interested in this? And I don't think she is, but it seems like it'd
This
be a
was
cool
like-
game.
This was like Wii era game, right?
Yeah.
Well, I like what you said in your show, John, where you said that this might play better because you don't have to worry about the Wii controller and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cozy is supposed to be just like holding a controller, not like waggling around, right?
Yeah. Very easy to do what you want to do and have fun with it. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what happens with this, to see if it sells well. And again, I always hope that things like this sell well, and maybe it brings a new audience in, and EA sees that and they'll bring the regular Sims over, which we're still
Yeah.
surprised that hasn't been brought over.
EA's still figuring it out. It's like it's been like 8 years. They're like,
Yeah.
what should we bring? Let's bring My Sims. How come there isn't a Sims game on the Switch? I think we talked about this years ago, especially
did.
after Animal Crossing. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not have a Sims game on the Switch?
That's like an easy sell. A lot of stuff is so easy for them to do and would make them money, I would think, and it's just not happening.
Yeah.
At least we talk about the sports games.
Yeah.
So,
And then
five
now a not cozy game.
Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Rune DLC. Both coming out holiday 2024. So
Woo.
more Five Nights at Freddy's games. And again, John, you mentioned this on your show. It seems like they're bringing out always 2 a year.
I
All
mean, there's
kinds
so
of Five
many.
Nights at Freddy's.
It's like a dump of five. I remember when there was just the one, and now it's like I don't even know.
Didn't the new
so
one
many.
just drop on PC recently, like In the Pit or something like that?
Probably.
I
If
can't keep track anymore.
if it's what I'm thinking of, it looks kind of like the graphics are like the Scott Pilgrim Brawler type of graphics.
Oh,
Unless I'm hallucinating, which is very
I
powerful.
forgot.
There
it sounds familiar.
Into the Pit, yeah. 2024. Yeah, there's Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, 4, World, Sister Location, Pizzeria Simulator, Ultimate Custom Night, Help Wanted, Freddy in Space 2. Where did we get? There was no Freddy in
What?
Space 1.
Where did that one
That-
come from? I've never heard of that.
I didn't know there was a space one.
Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery. Is that the same one? No, Special Delivery. And then Freddy in Space 2. Very confusing. Security Breach. Fury's Rage. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. What? U2's presents Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy in Space 3. Chica in Space. What? Help Wanted 2. Into the Pit. Five Laps at Freddy's. Oh my God.
So that when they go to space, that's gone too far because that's what happened to Friday the 13th, where it was like Jason X.
Jason
Jason goes to space.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
and
a
not
good
to
one.
mention a
was-
crap ton of books in the franchise.
Yeah.
In Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know they had
Oh
books.
yeah. Oh, there's probably 24 books.
Oh, my
Vic says we should not question Five Nights at Freddy's. Do not question it. All right. Next up is Disney Epic Mickey Rebrush got announced at September 24th. I think we already knew that, right? The date.
Yeah, we knew that.
But there's also a demo. So if you want to go check that out, there's a demo for the game out there.
I do not like the name of the next game.
Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah. Oh, the Lord of the Rings game.
Just in case you didn't figure it out.
I get why, but it just looks bad on paper.
It messes with your brain. The Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah.
Because that's the trademark, right? The Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Oh
yeah, holiday 2024. So I'm curious about this one too. Is it going to be good with that license? Basically a cozy game with the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings license.
Lord of the Rings.
Maybe we should call this show the Nintendo Dads or something like that. I don't know.
You should film yourself walk into a Target and go to the desk
Oh,
and say,
Oh,
"You
the
have
Nintendo
Tales of the
Dads
Shire."
podcast.
Yes. I should do that, John. I should go back in there. I'll have my daughter record me. Do you have Tales of the Shire? The Lord of the Rings game? Oh man. All right. Again, we talked about Just Dance. The Funko Fusion game comes out holiday 2024. Still no date on that. I think that was in their they were showing a bunch of games at once. Lego Horizon Adventure still holiday 2024.
I can't wait for that one. Come on. We didn't get a date for that yet?
Yeah, I know.
Nope.
I'm surprised.
Ugh.
Maybe PlayStation's, waiting to do their thing and then they'll announce the date then.
That's it'll likely be in the next state of play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So this month, I'm super excited for that one. Looks great.
Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, spring 2025. It's a what did they say? A reimagining of the Rune Factory games? Rune Factory games?
I never imagined it in the first place.
I've never played a Rune Factory game, so that doesn't help me.
It's like a different way of how they're presenting it, I guess. So it looked interesting.
More like a different way to not play it.
And then John, this one, the last one that I know you were talking about in your show, the Yakuza
Kiwami?
Kiwami.
Yeah, so this is a remake. This is a port of a remake of the original Yakuza.
Yeah.
Right?
October 24th is when it drops.
Yeah. I love the newer games with Ichiban, but like I never played any of these.
The games that release on the 24th of the month, I should have said, 2024, to show that I'm not just putting a month year. That is the month day, but I didn't.
They get
October 24th.
Because when I went through this list to add it to my future games list, I got confused more than once.
Do you think if this game sells well, that we'll get the rest of the series and they'll just start porting them all over? Or I
kind of hope so, because for those who don't know the story, the creator of the Yakuza series saw the Switch as a kiddie platform and never thought that the Yakuza series should be put on it. And apparently, I don't know if it was Sega's shareholders or what, but someone said, "Get this game on the Switch, idiot!" And now it's on the Switch.
That really is kind of dumb. Like, I mean, like nobody's really being a Yakuza. Like, it's just a video game.
Get this on the Switch, Baka. It's probably more how that conversation went.
Yeah, I think these games are all like brawler games. The newer series.
I think all of them. Yeah. I think the last two, the ones that are actually called Like a Dragon in North America, are turn-based, and all the previous ones are more real-time brawler games.
Yeah,
I've never played one. I've always wanted to play the Like a Dragons, and I've just never gotten around to it.
You'd like them because you like the turn-based stuff, and they're hilarious.
And I like more of the brawler stuff, so I like the older ones.
Like I've seen clips of when you're going into karaoke, and that's just hilarious.
David in our chat says Switches for kids, 150 million kids.
Heck yeah.
Right. All right. So this was an interesting Nintendo Direct. We got 2 showcases in one Direct. Indie Direct or Indie Showcase and the Partner Showcase. Do you think Nintendo should do this again?
Please no.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they did this is to get everything out of the way to make room for the successor announcement. So like I think the next thing we hear from Nintendo will be the successor. We've seen all the games. Show us the next system.
Do you think that will be soon? Soonish? Soon?
October-ish.
September? Oh, okay.
I think September is a little still early. I'm thinking maybe October, though probably, I think January is probably more likely, but I'd like to see October.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen by October, then it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not going to happen November or December.
And I mean, even if they announce it, you still think they would release it next year? Or do you think it would actually release for the holiday?
If we get an announcement, it's going to be a teaser this year. And it would probably follow the same type of thing they did with the original Switch, where it was teased in October. And then we got a breakdown.
I don't want this to wait until holiday. I think I'd be okay with like a summer release if we don't get one earlier. But it's because I want to see 2 distinct launches. One for the fans, and then the second launch will be the holiday season for the holiday season. I don't want both of them to try to fight over stock. I want them to be 2 distinctly different time frames. Let the fans have it first, and then deal with the holiday sales later.
That's why I'm like, why try to fix what's not broken? what they did with the Switch worked. Maybe tweak it a little bit, but they teased it. They teased it, then they talked about it 3 months later, and then they launched it a few months later.
There is a big difference between the Switch and the Switch 2, and that is the Wii U was not selling at all. The Switch
I understand that.
That's the difference to me. They're going to sell Switches from the holiday, all those Mario Kart
which
Switches.
Which is why they were okay with doing that October announcement, which is why I'm saying I'd like to see October. It probably won't be. It probably won't be until after the holiday season's January.
That's what I'm thinking. In which case, we would maybe get a Nintendo Direct again before the end of the year. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I see. I don't see, and I don't have a marketing degree, so call me stupid, but I don't see why announcing it with a teaser in October would hurt anything. Because people
wouldn't buy the Switch for Christmas.
People are already not going to buy the Switch for Christmas because the people, like, if they go to GameStop or people that know, if they go to a place to say, I'm going to go buy a Switch, and they're not going to tell them, or they could, hey, you sure you want to buy this? There could be a Switch 2 coming.
Are you saying GameStop employees are going to kill Nintendo sales?
Any employees, they might say, put in a pre-order instead. I don't know.
You can't.
Well, if it hasn't been announced yet, you can't pre-order it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that no matter where they go now, there's already enough information to know that there's going to be a Switch 2 coming.
I think if you walked into a GameStop and the employee told you, well, you should just wait for the Switch 2, like the manager would come and they'd like put their arm and they'd be like, Tommy, have you seen our stock? Sell this guy a Switch.
So exactly, what does it matter about them announcing it early?
Have you seen our profits? What profits? We haven't seen any in a long ass time.
Because you keep telling people to wait for a Switch 2.
So then why would it matter about them doing a teaser in October then? If their people are going to come in and they're going to sell what's in stock anyways, and it doesn't, I'm not saying they're going to launch the Switch 2 in December or anything like that. I'm saying it'll be a tease, and then we'll know more in January.
Yeah. If they do something in October, it'll be a small tease, very similar to the Karen Rifthoff thing from October 2016. They won't show. I don't think we'll get heavy details until January.
And that's why I was just referring back to the original Switch. I understand, it was coming from a different thing. They had to get something out for the Wii U, but what they did in regards to, here's the tease, here's the information a few months later, here's the sales. And they in March, when all of us diehard Nintendo people bought it originally, we were the ones who were salespeople on the ground, essentially showing it off. Because I know a few people, when I brought it to anywhere, they were like, what's that? And then be able to play games together. There was people that got interested, and more throughout the year, up to the holidays. By the time we got to the holidays, like you guys said, then it was ready for the holiday sales because people started seeing it out there by the diehard Nintendo fans who already had them and brought them to parties and whatever.
But that's going to happen anyway. So why not just sell Switches this holiday, then announce it?
They're going to sell it regardless, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they want to sell a bunch of, because if they sell you a Switch, then they'll be able to sell you a Switch 2 in like 6 months. That's what I think.
While we're ragging on GameStop, y'all see that they're converting some of their stores, whether in whole or in part, into retro stores. Did you see this?
What does it look like? Do we even know?
I don't know.
I have one near me that I'm going to go try to see this weekend.
I think there's the nearest one to me is like 25 miles away. I probably won't get to it anytime soon. If one of the closer ones had it, then I'd definitely check it out. But I'm not going to spend an hour of my day just to drive to a GameStop and be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm very curious on what's going to happen there. So, it sounds like
if you do check it out, report back.
I will. I'll see if they'll let me do a video or something.
And then ask for a pre-order of Tales of the Shire.
The-
Yes.
The No Swear Gamer did a video talking about it and kind of compared prices.
Okay.
What's on their website versus what you can see on price charting. And for the most part, like the GameStop price was like 10% higher than the price charting loose price.
Okay.
On most Nintendo, most of the things he checked. He did check 2 Pokemon carts, and it was actually marked cheaper than the game charting price. So
I think GameStop has their own pricing model for that stuff, though, don't they? Or they had when they had the retro games in the first place. They already had a pricing model for how popular things were, so you had a higher price
Probably.
versus things that weren't.
in
so
front of there
popular.
goes Atari Retro or 360 old. Yeah, there's nothing Atari, but it goes games go back to NES. I think pretty much any Nintendo system, Sega, starting with the Genesis, and then I think PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, that type of thing. Like, classic Xbox 360. So things aren't going before NES though.
All right. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. So, and it sounds like Retro Logic are one of our Nintendo Dad's family podcasts. They have in their Discord a picture, it sounds like, of it.
Oh,
so we'll see.
and they will take trade-ins, but don't trade in at GameStop. That copy of Mario 3 that they'll charge you $20 for, they'll give you $2.50.
I'll give you $2. Unless you're a pro member, then you might get $3. So, all right.
No
All
price
right.
gouge on eBay.
Yes. All right. So, anything else? Any final grades you guys want to give this direct?
The whole thing, or
The whole thing. How they presented it.
really bad, Tim. It was really bad. I mean, for me, it always is. Like, it just depends. If you're a big Yakuza fan, you're excited. Tetris
Yeah.
guy in the chat is excited, but like, nothing really kind of clicked. Some of the games that they talked about that were already announced, like Plucky Squire, Horizon Adventure, like I'm excited for, but those weren't like new announcements. The partner direct was really disappointing. I thought that would be better than Indie World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I were to break them up, I'd give the Indie a B and the partner a D. There wasn't anything there that I care about. Yeah. So but overall, C-.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, that's it for the Nintendo Direct. Let's get into a couple of the releases that are going on right now. So you guys are aware. Out now, like we mentioned, there were some shadow drops. So out now is Pizza Tower, Peglin, Pico Park 2, Goat Simulator 3, Castlevania Dominus Collection, Emio the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club, and Crypto Custodian are a lot of the games that are out now.
Crypto Custodian.
Crypt Custodian. Because
Crypt.
Crypto makes it sound like a different type of game.
Crypt Custodian. Sorry. That's the sequel. Sorry, they're working on that right now. Crypto.
What is
Custodian.
Crypt Custodian?
Crypt Custodian.
I don't know what it
actually,
is.
Justin did a first
Justin
look on.
played it.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah. It is not a game where you mine Dogecoin.
There is a demo out for it too, as well, if I remember correctly. There's a demo for that game. And yes, you don't collect crypto. So coins. That was my mistake. All right. Out soon is the Callie and Marie Alterna 2-pack amiibos coming out September 5th. And also the Pearl and Marina side order 2-pack amiibos on the same day.
Yes.
Yeah, I got my 1 week warnings from Best Buy saying that they'll be ready to pick up next week.
I got mine pre-ordered as well. And that's it for the upcoming releases and the news. On to Let's Discuss. Whew, that was a lot to talk about. But now we got actually our guest spotlight as well, which is a spotlight on you, John, and your PlayStation
Me.
Daily Plus. So tell us about your show. What do you want to share about your new, especially you're celebrating your 1 year anniversary of the show and then changing it up a bit. Tell the audience about what you do there.
Yeah, you've been doing your research, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we just had my 1 year anniversary on Wednesday. That was yesterday. That's just nuts to me. Yeah, I started it a year ago. I was doing a Dad's After Dark with Drew, and when I talked about PlayStation, he kind of rolled his eyes. He'd be like, John, we don't got to talk about this. Come on. But there was definitely some PlayStation topics I wanted to get into that were definitely a little meatier, and it just wasn't the right place. So yeah, I started it off. It started off daily. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but like this week I did 4 episodes. They're definitely short. You can poop and listen to the show if you want to, Jesse. And yeah, I try to keep them short. Sometimes they go a little long, like today. But yeah, no, it's fun. I talk about PlayStation, but I also talk about the Switch. I talk about Xbox, talk about everything gaming, but it's definitely a very PlayStation focused show. We've got a Discord. Everything's free. There's no Patreon or anything. It's just sort of a fun side hobby, and we can just chat about PlayStation there. So yeah, you can find it any podcasting app. What is the thing, right? Find us in all your favorite podcasting apps. It's PlayStation Daily Plus. And then you can follow me on Twitch, Threads, Instagram, PS Daily Pod.
Very cool. Another source for everybody to listen to gaming content. So, you ever plan on bringing anybody on as a guest, or just solely solo?
I've had solo Hambone. I've had a lot of people from the community. So we'll drag you on, Tim, for the Sea of Stars DLC, because that I did play Sea of Stars on PlayStation Plus as well.
Right.
But yeah, no, if you want to talk a PlayStation, that would be great. But yeah, no, definitely do. We definitely do guess.
Nice. Well, congratulations on 1 year. So
Thank you.
that is very cool. Hopefully, continue as long as you want to, of course. So, and you're having fun with it.
I'm gonna go into a black hole and I'm gonna catch up to the Nintendo dads. 10 years.
Nice.
Or do I have to stay out of the black hole? How does that work? Wait, no, black hole. Yeah. Yes, diabolical plan.
All right. It's some sort of time travel thing, maybe. So, all right. Well, let's move on to the question of the week that Marty posted in our podcast news through Patreon, our weekly updates. And John, you actually gave us an answer here too. But the question is, it's the end of an era on Nintendo because Nintendo has confirmed it will no longer be repairing new 3DS systems due to part shortages. What is your favorite 3DS memory? And John, you had an answer there, so I'll read it off. So
you read it off. I'm gonna get something real quick.
All right. So John said, my favorite memory is when I was sitting in my car in a Target parking lot and I had my 3DS on the center console. And I don't remember how it happened, but it slipped and fell between the console and seat. And when I retrieved it, it had a big scratch on the top of it. So I went into Target and immediately bought a new one. The 3DS was a precious and personal device to me. And at the time, my favorite Nintendo console of all time. I couldn't bear to see its pain. So that must have been one big eyesore to make it. It must have been one big eyesore to make you go in and buy a brand new one.
Oh my God, it was like completely gashed, like right on. It was like the blue one. I think it was the XL blue one. Completely gashed. I have something to show, but if you want to go through the rest of the responses first, that's fine.
Go ahead, show it.
Oh well, so I have. So like obviously if I'm going to buy a new 3DS because there's a scratch, I probably have a bunch. So like I just wanted to share some of the 3DSs.
Pokemon, 2DS
Most
one,
of them are
that's
2DS.
sweet.
Pokeball. This was for my son. I made sure I got to keep the box. We got the Zelda one here.
Yes.
Majora.
Yep.
That was my main for a while.
Same here.
The Zelda one. These
That's
are
a
so
cool. That came out right after that Majora's Mask one, and I was so
Did it?
pissed because I
They're
was like,
so
I'd
pretty.
rather have that one, but that's the one I have is this one.
Yeah, it's like a little bit
Majora's
more.
Mask.
Oh yeah, the Majora. There you go. This one, which I think is maybe Tim's favorite.
Yep,
This
that's
is
the one I
think mine
upgraded to.
Yep.
Right before. That's right there.
It's so pretty, right? It's like a red and
So
orange.
nice.
It's so nice.
That's what I upgraded to from the Zelda one because I had to get the Samus one before they went up in price, which I'm
Right.
glad they did.
This is the
I'm glad.
hyper green Yoshi one.
I don't know if I like that green. It's lime.
Hyper green is like one of my favorite colors. I had to get that one. This is a DS. This was actually my wife's first Nintendo DS.
Oh yes,
but we don't
Is it a
care about
fat?
the DS.
that is a
That
fat.
is the fat. Yeah.
Wow.
We couldn't find it for like a couple weeks, and then we found that one. This is a pink
Here's my
3DS for
fat.
some reason in a giant box. Oh, that red fat. Is that like a
That's
Mario?
a Mario Kart. Yep. See,
Oh, that's
that was
sweet.
one I was putting up for sale in our trade
Oh,
channel.
the fat
Nobody-
ones. I love the design of the fat ones.
Yeah.
This is just a plain old pink one. For some reason, it's in a giant box. I think because it comes with the adapter or something. The 2DS, the least popular of all the 3DS models.
The
for sure.
doorstop. Yeah.
The door wedge.
Door wedge.
yeah.
I have this Zelda one. How many Zelda ones do they
Oh
make?
yeah, that was my absolute favorite one because I love that design. It's very simple.
Yeah. Oh,
and
this was
everything.
Link Between Worlds. It came with it.
Yes.
Okay.
I have that box
Uh,
still too up on my shelf.
Almost done. The Mario one, which is actually really cool.
That is a cool one.
Yeah. And this came with Mario 2, right? Yep. Mario 2 with all the coins.
Yes.
And then this one, which I've never opened actually, but this is the doorstop, but this is like the Zelda version.
Oh yeah,
this
that
was
was like
Black
a
Friday.
Christmas one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's really pretty, but I haven't really, I think I did open it, but I didn't take it out of the plastic. Yeah, because it doesn't have a sticker.
At the resale shop near me, they have the white and red 2DS wedge one that was really cool. But I like the new 2DSs, like the Pokemon one you got, and then they had that Hyrule Shield one that was really cool. I didn't get those, but man, I was so tempted to get those because they were very cool.
I think Matthew had a Hyrule Shield one, and I have the Super Nintendo
Oh yeah.
3DS XL.
Yeah. One of my favorites is there's a Monster Hunter one that looks like an airbrushed metal. That's a really neat one. I actually owned it for a while before I really liked Monster Hunter, and I ended up selling it to get a different 3DS. And I really wish I could get it back because it's a really nice one, and I love Monster Hunter now. So,
And then I imported the pink and white one from Japan that I modded.
Yep.
Just so I can say I have a modded system. I just wanted something that wasn't available in North America. I got a pretty good price for it.
oh, the pink and white is Japanese or
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta look at it.
modded. So, yep. Well, you guys think of your memories if you don't have one right now. Well, John, you already gave us ours. So, but Jesse, if you got one. Mecha Dragon said, my favorite memory of the 3DS is meeting some of my would-be longtime friends, such as Shell Shock, and a group they formed called Street Pass, now rebranded to Switch and Play. I'm still friends with the people who originated from that group today. And
Nice.
David said, my favorite 3DS memory was getting my son the 2DS tablet style, as it was his very first handheld console, and seeing the look of excitement on his face. Over the following years, I would sit with him in his bedroom at night, and we would each play our 3DS or 2DS and talk about the games we played. Reminded me of sitting in bed playing the Game Boy when I was his age. And he sent a picture of his son being very happy about getting it in our Discord. And we have it here in our notes too, just to see that happy face from his kid.
Is this the 3DS that we just called the doorstop?
Yeah,
Yep.
the 2DS,
Oh,
that's the 2DS tablet style. We call it the door wedge.
well, now don't we feel bad?
I thought it was cool because Sammy had one too. He had a couple iterations of it.
It's all your perspective. We're adults, so it's a door wedge, but to a 4-year-old, that's a huge tablet.
Yeah. Sammy had that one that he's got, the black and red, but then he also got later on I think there was a translucent red one they had, which was really
Ooh.
cool looking. Um, that I don't know if we still have that around or not. He's very hard on his systems though. Hoot said in college, my roommate thought it would be cool prank to let my girlfriend, now wife, to hold hostage all of my video games until the end of the finals. Luckily for me, at the time the heist was performed, I had my 3DS on me with Kid Icarus Uprising, which happens to be one of my top 5 games of all time. So my 3DS saved the day. And of course, the funniest part of the story is when my roommate then asked me later that evening if we could play Smash Bros. I wish we could, man, my man. So that's funny. And then Bosab says, man, I loved Earthbound, which is celebrating its 30th, by the way. Anyways,
Oh.
beat the game many times over the years, but in 2021, I decided to download it via the eShop for my 3DS when my daughter was born. Played through the entire game during nap, sleep, baby holding sessions. I remember having to silently cheer when I defeated Gygus
I guess.
Yeah.
as I got one right. Woo! As my precious baby snoozed beneath the glow of the 3DS screens. Such a fun memory of a childhood game in a totally different context. She's 3 now and can almost fully clear 1-1 Super Mario Bros. On NES on her own. Very
Nice.
cool stuff. All right, Jesse, you got any 3DS memories?
Yeah. E3 2011. So this was like 3 months after the 3DS launched. So, do you remember the Mii's, the Nintendo official Me accounts all had gold pants.
Yes.
So
I
you
remember
knew
that.
it was from a Nintendo account. During one of our I think it was after the show floor ended, they had a roundtable discussion with Miyamoto and Iwata and a bunch of other people, where Miyamoto had his personal Mii in circulation, and then someone who had the system flushing through the street passes to keep them going, and I managed to get a copy of it. Then I was playing the Me Quest, Find Me, whatever they called it, kind of like a little RPG where you have to recruit people to do the attacking for you, and sometimes you needed specific colors to do specific attacks, to do things. But I was on the final boss. He had a whole bunch of hit points, so it took multiple rounds to finally whittle through it. Miyamoto's Mii was the kill shot.
Nice.
And I recorded that and put it on the VG Tribune YouTube channel back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I think we have very early 3DS memory, but I think that's my favorite one.
Nice.
That's cool.
My favorite memory was actually when it was one of Sammy's first systems to play on was a 3DS, and he had that. And for a moment, I took my eyes off him. He had a 3DS he was playing on, and he had taken mine, and he had both 3DSs playing 2 games at one time somehow. He was very young, and he's just playing both at the same time. I have a picture of it somewhere where he just got both of them side by side, and he's doing stuff on both of them. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh, see, Matthew's done that shiny hunting.
But shiny hunting, yeah, he wasn't shiny hunting, but
Well, we're talking about 6 different game systems playing
There you
6
go.
different copies of Pokemon.
yeah, isn't there a picture?
All
of
of them
that?
shiny hunting. I'm sure there's a picture out there somewhere.
Yeah, nice, great memories. Thanks for sharing that with us. If you still have more, always feel free to share them in our Discord or share in our social channels. We'd love to hear more of those type of stories, especially for 3DS, and especially if you have any favorite games you want to talk about. Love to hear about that. All right, that's it for the question of the week and the spotlight. Let's move on to our timeout.
I
All
like
right,
that
John.
soundbite.
You're our guest, of
I,
course. You get to go first on what
I
your non-Nintendo thing is.
I think this is my fourth visit to the Nintendo Dads, but that's my first time out music. That was very it's emotional. Um I did want to say that earlier this month, it was right after we stopped the Dads After Dark show. I went to Super Nintendo World. Yay!
Woo!
In California. So we
That's
went to Universal for a couple days.
that makes you automatic Nintendo dad right there. Not just having kids, of
I
course.
think so. I wanted to go last year. I think it opened up April last year, and I wanted to go in the summer, but we didn't. We went to New York. But yeah, no, finally got to go. We spent a couple days in Universal, so I went there on both days. And yeah, it's magical, like you would sort of expect. It's you got to go down all the escalators to find it. And as you walk up to it, they're playing the Nintendo music, and I was just like so excited, taking pictures and you do kind of see it from the top of the escalators. It's not like a completely hidden dome or anything. But yeah, you walk through the pipe, and all of a sudden you're kind of in the world, and it's a magical little feeling. That being said, it was like 96 degrees, so it was like roasting in there. But I will say that it is small. It's you kind of see everything in one glance around you. There's one ride, which is the Bowser cart ride, but there is so much like hidden stuff around. And like everybody knows you have that little watch thing that you wear and you can play the games. But what I didn't really realize was there's all these little hidden nooks and crannies that aren't even advertised. Like there's no signs or anything. So you like walk into a corner just to get some shade, and all of a sudden you look and there's a doorway, and then you walk through, and then you go upstairs and you go in a round back, and there's like cubes and like question blocks and stuff like that you interact with and get points on the app. So it's very neat for like exploring and kind of like that Mario feel of finding secrets in a game. So I was really excited for that. Unfortunately, my three kids who we bought our watches for, who are 17, 15, and 13, were not quite as excited as I was. So I was like, hey, Cedric, you want to go around and try to like 100% the app? And he was like, no. So it was like, all right.
Oh man.
So the next time we
Aw.
go, I'm gonna take like 3 hours of my own time and steal one of their watches and definitely try to like see if I can max out the app. It resets every day, so don't try to split it across a couple days. It will reset on you.
Okay.
And the app gives you stats based on what team you are. So whatever watch you're wearing, you are that team.
Okay.
But it was fun. The Bowser ride isn't the best. You have to wear these little goggles, and it's not as cool an AR experience as you're probably imagining it is. But the line queue is really neat. They put you through like Yoshi's World,
Hmm.
and then like towards the end, it's like just a mind-bogglingly cool like room where you're in Bowser's castle, and there's all this like all these pictures of Peach everywhere and stuff like that. It's great. So I really enjoyed it. The ride is not a thrill ride or anything, doesn't go fast, but like I really enjoyed seeing all the decoration and everything around. And I didn't have the goggles on quite right, so I wasn't having a good time with the ride, and yeah, I just like
Oh,
I'm just
bummer.
gonna look around. This is really great. So that was a fun time. And the Toadstool Cafe tastes better than you even think. We got a bunch of desserts. We got the Luigi burger. All of it was excellent.
Oh,
And we
good.
kind of did family style, so we just all took a couple bites of everything,
Yeah.
and it was fantastic. So I definitely recommend hitting the Toadstool Cafe. And if you go a couple days, you should do it twice. You can get in now. It's not like a big wait like it used to be. So we got in after we registered for the line. We got in 10 minutes. The line inside was a little long because I think there was a couple of issues going on, but it's fantastic. You go sitting there, it's nice and cool. They bring the food, and everything tasted really great. And the last thing I'll say is the drinks are not available in Toadstool Cafe. They're available at there are two food stations in Universal. One is right outside of the Nintendo area,
Okay.
and then you can get the drinks there. Those were great. They're like boba drinks. They were fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, the Peach one, the Mario one, they're so good. And then there's a place closer to the entrance to Universal which sells the pretzel, like a flour pretzel,
Yeah.
and it comes with 3 dips. It's like a spicy one, and I don't even remember. The dips weren't the best, but you can get that and then like another drink or whatever. So there's like besides the Nintendo area, there are 2 other Nintendo food places that you probably want to hit up and check out.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really neat. I really enjoyed
That sounds
it.
cool.
And then I will say Marty's not here, but Marty will be so excited for me. On Saturday, I'm going to Bucky's.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
I'm excited for you too. I just don't have
Yeah.
one near me.
Yeah, they built one about an hour north of me, and I still haven't gone. My boys have gone. We haven't. So I will hopefully be having some Bucky's barbecue on Saturday. So I'm very excited.
They built
I'll send
a
pictures.
Sheets near me. Have you guys ever heard of a Sheets? Not the
Oh,
Sheets,
yeah.
but Sheets.
I love to say it when we do on road trips. Yeah.
So you have heard of it. It's like a cross between Sonic and a gas station in a way.
Mhm. Yep.
And it made me think of Bucky's as well. They just built one of those near me, and we're gonna try to check that out too. So we got a couple new things to check out around here between GameStop, Retro, and Sheets.
It's funny how excited we can get about gas stations, but
Right,
but
I
here we
know.
are. Yeah.
Here we are.
Oh, I also got this shirt from see Player 2 from Super Nintendo World.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. They have a good
Nice
stuff.
green. It's good Luigi green.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right, Jesse, what's your timeout?
Well, mine is the classes have started again. My classes this time are Tuesday, Thursday. So like my first electronics class had like an hour of lecture, then an hour and a half of lab. This one has an hour and a half of lecture and an hour and a half of lab. So the days go a little bit longer. But because of the podcasting on Thursdays, I pretty much told them I won't be able to do labs on Thursdays. I've got other things going on. But, as long as I'm caught up on the labs and I told him that I have a home lab similar to the school lab so I can work on weekends and whatnot. He says, as long as you're keeping up, do what you want, do what you need. So
Very cool.
he's cool with it. So yeah, so after lecture, I literally just booked out, didn't go to lab today. That'll likely be my normal, especially if I want to get dinner in before we start recording.
Right.
Yeah, though it's weird. I thought that the intro class I took was a prereq to this class, which is DC circuits, and there's it seems like half the class didn't know how to read a resistor color band, which is something that they beat into our heads as part of the intro class. So maybe it's a co-rec and they're taking both classes at the same time, which I don't think is a good idea. But because they're pretty much starting us over in this class with, how to read resistors and then start with Ohm's law. And so it's like, this is how the last class started, but maybe, hopefully it'll just be a faster progression and we'll get into new stuff soon.
Like a refresher.
Yeah.
I know how to read resistors. I majored in electronics in high school, and you got to learn the colors map to numbers. It's a fun time.
Yep.
Nice. Very cool.
And then when you're starting to read other components, the resistors have colors, but other components like capacitors. Well, capacitors probably isn't a good idea because that's just done in microfarads usually. But I'm trying to what other component am I thinking of? But anyway, there's it would have a number on it, like 104, and it's read similar to a resistor color band, so it's like 10 followed by 4 zeros, but that's like in nanohenries or something like that.
Is it like a capacitor?
Not a capacitor, but what was
Transistor?
inducer? Maybe I don't remember.
Not familiar with that one.
I don't remember. I remember something with Henry's. but I don't remember what
Oh.
that what part.
What
that
about
part was.
Bob's? Is there any Bob's?
No,
Nano
no,
Bobs?
no Bob's.
Oh, okay, just
Sad.
wondering. All right, thanks for sharing you guys' time out. Let's move on to what we've been playing. All right, John.
I'm
It's getting
John.
late. John, what have you been playing?
Well, I've played a ton of Monster Hunter World lately. I'm getting ready for Monster Hunter Wild next year, and I'm excited for Astrobot, which comes out on the 6th, I believe. I think we're just over a week away. I think it comes out next Friday. But that's PlayStation stuff. I won't talk about that. What I do want to talk about is SteamWorld Heist 2.
Okay.
I am continuing to play this. Love the SteamWorld games, and yeah, I now fall in between. I'm in between Tim and Jesse. Okay, like it's like a sandwich, right? And I don't think I love it as much as you, Tim, but I don't think I hate it as much as Jesse does.
Okay. Fair
There are
enough.
things I like about it. The thing that gets me, I think, is the combat. The combat is so mysterious to me. I have trouble telling the difference between my guys and the enemies. And there's been at least a couple times where I fired at myself, and you don't do damage to yourself, thankfully. But I'm just like, which
It's
one's
still
my
a wasted
guys?
turn.
Yeah, it's a wasted turn. There's no like take backs if you make a mistake or you hit the wrong button. Like you press ZR and ZL to like choose what you want to do, and then you kind of press A to do it. And there's been times I've messed that up, and I'm like, and you can't like redo your turn. Which is probably fine because if you missed because the aim was bad, that would be like cheating anyway. But I oftentimes don't know what I'm supposed to do. It tells you in the top left corner what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't often like point you in the direction. So you have to look for the doors, and it's sometimes hard to see them. I think that's just what gets me. The things I do like about it are that your submarine feels more powerful as you go, as when you upgrade. Like there's a lot of games where you upgrade yourself and you don't even feel more powerful, and that's a huge pet peeve of mine. But my submarine feels powerful, so I'm like going through the sea, and the shots are like auto, like you don't actually shoot at ships. It just sort of automatically happens. And oh my gosh, I'm just like doing so much damage now. I see big ships and so that really feels good. And then obviously upgrading your weapons. So I just got to the part of the game. I don't want to spoil anything or whatever, but where you become a submarine. That's where I just got today, Tim. I'm not sure if you were there.
Well, I don't think it's really
Okay.
You knew it was a submarine. You just couldn't submerge yourself yet.
True.
Due to air problems.
Yeah, air problems. Yeah, so I can do that now, and that's a cool mechanic. So that's where I am now. And like when you get to this area, you can buy weapons that are like Mark III. So you're like, oh, this is more powerful than my Mark II, my Mark I weapons or whatever. I'm still not really good. I'm just using the same dudes. You have to spend money to buy new dudes, but then you have to like level them up. And it's like, well, I'm already leveling up these dudes. So I'm just kind of using the same. I think I have 5 characters, but I'm really just using the same 4 dudes. I probably need to start leveling up some other people. But I bought some new weapons and kind of excited to use them and whatever. So yeah. I don't think this will be a game that I try to like 100% when I'm done, but I have at sometimes gone back to older levels just to like finish out the stars. But I don't know if eventually I'll try to 100% it. But I mean, it's going along. It's got charm. I hadn't found the Bobby Pauls character. I don't know where the Bobby Pauls is. Did I miss?
Oh, yeah, you would have missed him.
Oh, yeah, he's probably early.
He's early. I came across him, and
in the second bar that you have to go to, I believe.
Oh, you know what? Now that I think of it, there probably are a lot of people I haven't talked to. Okay, I'll go make sure I talk to everybody.
So I got to the mission that required you to job change. and I didn't win that. That's when I stopped playing, and I came across the Bobby Pet character already.
Okay, I'm gonna look for them.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
something Guru and is Guru's in the name.
Guru
Guru
Bobby.
Bobby.
Guru Bobby. Yep. Guru Bobby.
I'll say hello. Yeah,
He represents a toy company.
the game felt harder in the beginning. It's one of those games where it feels harder in the beginning, and then once you start to level up, it starts to feel almost easier. But it's more of like just survive these waves of enemies. But
when
like
you know
in
what
the
type
beginning-
of BS the game can throw at you,
yeah,
and you can
in the beginning,
start to prepare for them.
your health levels are like 4, in the beginning, and then you get like an upgrade and it like ups them to like 12. So you can make more mistakes and stuff like that. It's not going to be on my game of the year list, but I mean it's solid, and I'm kind of enjoying getting all the upgrades and seeing where the story goes and that sort of thing. I don't know if there's one thing this game does really well, but I mean yeah, I'm just cruising along, and now I'm in a new area and I have to find these like 5 things and whatever, and so like I'm excited to like do it and advance the story and whatever. So just kind of in the middle there. So I'm the average.
At
But
least it
that's
hasn't
it.
deterred you from stop playing it, So like you said, you're right in the middle.
Yeah, and nothing's coming out. I was tempted to grab Pizza Tower, but I'm gonna wait on that one. And Balatro, I thought I was gonna get distracted with Balatro, and then once I figured out it was just the skins, it's like, okay, I will just play Balatro at my normal level as before. But it won't take me from this. And I don't think anything's really coming out that is gonna sway me. So I'll be finishing it. So yeah, SteamWorld Heist 2. It's a good, like so far, I'd say it's a solid 7. A solid 7 for me.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. That's good, right? That's good on the
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on
Yeah,
the
it's-
IGN scale. It's good.
Yeah.
good.
It's polished, whatever. I wish it was a little more clear. I wish my characters were outlined or something. I should look at accessibility options and see if they did that. Just to make it a little easier to kind of figure it all out. I mean, I get shot at by guys that I didn't even realize were there because it's just hard to pick them up in the environment sometimes and keep track of everybody. But I'll go on. That's all I got.
Okay. Very cool. Jesse.
Okay, so other than the game that I can't talk about yet, I picked up Peglin on Tuesday after the direct. Because that looked interesting to me, and I played through 2 runs of it. The first one I failed at the boss of the forest in the first section. Because I kept on. I didn't understand what each of the different peg symbols meant yet, so I wasn't planning properly. So like I would one of my balls would like take out, say, a good third of the board, and then then the second one I'd aim somewhere else, it'd go boink and then go right back into the same path that the first one did, hitting nothing because I already cleared it out. So I'm like, okay, wasted turn, yay me. And then I realized, okay, there's some of the pegs have an R on it that refreshes the board, and okay, now I can kind of plan ahead of when I need to refresh the board, when I need to do another big hit, and things like that. And really early on, you have a small number of ammo. When you run out of ammo, you have to burn a turn to reload. So at each turn, the enemies get closer to you. Initially, they don't have range attacks, so they can't attack you until they're in your face. But later on, you get enemies that won't advance, but will have range attacks. And so and most of your attacks will only hit the target in the front of the line. But again, later on in the game, you get certain attacks that will have pierce damage and can go through the entire line. And but as you play, you get the additional perks. You get different types of ammo that do certain things, and you can get just a general perk that's equipped on you. And by the end of the game, I was just doing insane damage, and I didn't even know why. It's just okay. I just did 2,000 damage. I'll trust you, game. But so I did a second run and I ended up winning it, though it doesn't seem like I got anything for doing so. A win basically is I went through the forest area, then I went through a castle area, then I went through a mine area. At the end of the mine area, it just said, "You win." Title screen. I'm like, okay, did I miss something? I'm confused. So,
You made a good run.
yeah.
So like I don't know I don't know how many roguelikes that you play, Jesse. I mean, I've
Not
heard the show
many.
and everything. Okay. But I see the best roguelikes have this feel like when you finish a run, all you want to do in life is another run. Like, and I think Balatro has that a bit. Slay the Spire. I think that's what makes the best.
Yeah.
The best roguelikes.
I've never gotten a win in Balatro, and I was just more confused than I want to play this again. Like I
Seems
was
like it should be
expecting
your
more.
game too.
Yeah, it just literally just ended. Like I was no epilogue of what happens now. It's just okay. You beat the third level. Title screen. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Generally, there's like okay, now do the next difficulty level and play it again, or go further down, go to 4 levels or something like that. And it didn't do any of that.
Yeah. If it did, I missed it. So yeah. So yeah, I'll give it another few runs just to see if anything else clicks. But yeah. But by the end of it, I didn't know what ability was combining with other abilities. Like
Okay.
so, okay, there's one where the peg symbol is exclamation mark, which turns all the pegs red. That enables crit damage. So most of your ball ammo is like 1 point of damage for a normal peg you hit, and if it's a crit, it's 2. But there's a dagger ammo that I'm going to use ammo instead of ball just because that's a weird thing to say.
It's
So-
not really.
It's okay.
It's
in
fun.
context, it is, but yeah. So there's a dagger ammo that does extra damage on the crit. So if you can crit and hit, it'll do a lot of extra damage. There's one ammo I came across that crit is 0. So I did that with a multi-ball. So I had like 5 balls going around, hit a crit. Everything was going 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But while I was doing that, I picked up like 5 bombs, and like initially each bomb does 50 damage to all enemies on the board, but I had an upgraded bomb that did 300. So it says I threw out like 10 bombs, so I did 3,000 damage to everything. I think I took a clip of that and posted it on the Discord with, I don't know what just happened, but I
That's
won.
crazy.
That's what the kids call breaking the game,
I
which
think
is
Yeah.
which is a big reason why Balatro is popular, because it's so easy to just completely break the game. That's what makes it fun.
that's probably why
And-
you won too. You didn't overthink things. It was just like you didn't know what was going on. You just played and
Right.
had fun with it or trying to figure it out, and you did well, but you didn't overthink it, so you didn't probably
Right. I don't
make it
think
worse.
I don't know enough about the game to overthink.
Right. Yep. It's like there's a certain point in some of those games, like even Balatro, where it's like I got to a point where I had to stop playing it because I was overthinking things and not getting
Yeah, I think and that's my
combinations.
problem with Balatro is I think I was overthinking that, and I couldn't get to a point where I could break the game.
Yeah.
So I think Marty did a let's play of
Yes.
this game. I haven't seen what his thoughts of it yet is, but I'm sure he'll talk about it next week.
Yep. He did a first look on that and Pizza Tower. So yep. All right. So yeah, and by the way, Marty did those games and also Final Fantasies 2 and Fortnite is what he put down here. And then Justin also did
I thought he
Crypt-
finished 2. Maybe he meant
maybe
3.
he did.
He's doing
Maybe.
3. I saw he was playing 4
Okay.
though.
Well, there was the notes here. He had Final Fantasy 2 and Fortnite originally, so maybe he missed another I.
I think he meant 3.
Okay. Well, we'll assume that. And then Justin was playing Crypt Custodian, not Crypto Custodian, but Crypt Custodian, and Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed both the well, that one he played the demo of. I think he's playing the Crypt Custodian game, but there's a demo for that. And he's got a first look for both of those on our channel as well. And of course, I've been playing SteamWorld Heist 2, which I've talked about a bunch of times. And then John, you just went over it as well. I played the Emios, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club demo. I got through all 3 chapters that they do with the demo. And
So
then,
that's all the chapters now. They've released all those for the demo.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. They do all 3 and they're all released now. I don't know if you were to go get the demo now, if they still stagger those demos for you, or if you get all 3 chapters right away. But I'm
I
assuming
think you'll just get them all right away. I downloaded the demo and I saw that it was updating,
okay.
but I never had a chance to play it, so I don't know what's going on yet. I haven't.
Do we know how many chapters total?
There are
the game is?
12. There are
Okay,
12
so they let
chapters.
you play like a quarter of the chapters.
Yes. There are
Oh.
12 chapters, and I read that the game takes anywhere from 10 to 15 hours to complete. So probably could, I look at it as like a book. That's how I've been handling it as I go, I go read that book when I go to bed. And I completed a chapter each time I did one, a night.
Oh,
Of course, I couldn't binge it anyways because I was doing it while they were staggering the releases on those chapters, but it worked out to be 1 chapter a night every time I did play it. So that's probably how I'm going to do it when I do continue the game. And I'm going to probably do a let's play video about it. I do have a first look on the demo showing, kind of like the basic gameplay of it all. But it's basically, just an interactive narrative story, point and click type stuff going on. There's some catches to what you do with the point and click that I've been noticing where there are different things you can do between asking questions, thinking, looking around, calling out for somebody, using your phone. Although in the first 3 chapters, you don't get to use your phone. At least in the demo, I couldn't use the phone. So you have all those different options and you can do that. But mainly the things I was doing was asking questions and thinking. And when asking questions, you can ask, depending on what was said, you can start asking questions on certain things, but then you have to figure out, and this is the part I'm still trying to learn, is you have to figure out when to ask certain questions and when to go back to that topic again.
Yeah.
In order to open up that the next round of answers, so there's a pattern there, or there's something, you kind of, it'll kind of click you'll get a sign that says, okay, it's time to move on to a different subject or a different area, question path or a different option. So, but that's what I found interesting about it. I find the story interesting, and I like what you do at the end of each chapter, which is you actually have to review what you've learned to kind of deduce what your next day is going to be happening, and whether somebody's the killer or what's happening or whatever kind of questions you got going on. You're reviewing with your detective team at the end of each day. So I find it very interesting and I'm enjoying it, especially as an end of day type thing for that. Like I said, it's like reading a book for me. Next, I also played the Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed demo. I completed that demo. You don't get very much to do in the demo. You get to play enough to get a feel for the mechanics kind of through the tutorial part of the game, I think. But I'm afraid it seems like you are not going to be able to carry over what you did in the demo into the actual game. So if you do buy the game, you're going to have to do the tutorial all over again, it seems like.
Ouch.
Everything I try to look up to try to find out if you do that or not seems to point to you're not going to be able to carry that save over, because there was nothing that indicated that the game was saving, and I didn't have any save file to go to. So
right, but the game itself won't start with the demo, so it probably won't feel as bad. I guess that's usually what
Yeah.
happens, right? It's like you're going to start with some story and a different level, and then you might redo that some parts of that demo.
Well, no, because it seemed like it was from the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it gave you the cutscene at the beginning that I remember playing it when I played it on the Wii. It was basically telling the story of how Mickey, messed with the magical brush and then got pulled into this thing, into the world, and then the character that helps guide you through this world is giving you tutorial stuff on how to use the brush to be able to use the paint thinner versus the paint, how to jump, how to do this or that.
Okay.
So it's giving you all the tutorial stuff, and then you get through a section of the theme park of that board, and it ends right at the end of, I think there was a boat sequence that it ended at. So, and I think that's mainly the tutorial part of the game that you get to demo. And I'm afraid that it's going to have to do it again if I get the game. So, and then of course, as I mentioned earlier, I played Castlevania Dominus Collection, the
Order. Oh no.
the Order one. Order of
Ecclesia?
Ecclesia.
Yes. Yep. Because I didn't get to play that one on the DS. I played the Portrait Ruin of one there on the DS. So I'm looking forward to playing that. And then I'm going to go back to playing the Advanced Collection so I can do the Aria Castlevania one and then go back to Dawn of Sorrow. So
They really do name them like blank of blank. I mean, I think that's like every one of them is blank of blank, right?
blank of blank.
I wonder at what point they decided, let's just go with it.
Except for Aria of Sorrow. No, it is Aria of
Isn't
Sorrow.
it? It's Aria of Sorrow.
Never mind.
Yeah. Because even like Bloodstain had like Curse of the Moon.
Mm-hmm. Blank of blank. You're
yeah.
right. Good observation. So those are the games
Yeah,
I've been
and
playing.
of course, Dawn of Sorrow is because it's on the DS.
Ah.
There's a lot of DS words thrown around.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dual Strike or Advance Wars.
Yeah.
There was the Ninja Gaiden one that I really liked too. It had a DS name to it too, and I can't remember what it was called. Ninja
Dragon
Dragon
Sword.
Sword.
Thank
We
you.
both found it.
Yeah, you found it clear. Awesome. So, yep, that's what I've been playing. Let's go on to the community spotlight real quick. So real quick, I'm going to mention just a quick of our usual stuff, gaming streams. Follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for live Let's Plays and First Looks. Make sure you turn on your notifications to be notified when we go live or when we drop a new video. And also you'll see things like our Friday night or Saturday night NSOs, where every second Friday or Saturday of the month, we get together in the community, starting with a few of us to do some games, play some games over NSO and share our experiences about that there. So if you're in our Discord, you can join in. You don't have to play, you can just hang out. Or if you're watching the stream, you can just hang out. And of course, if we're playing a game where multiple people can play, like Mario Kart, you're more than welcome to play and join there too. So keep an eye on those. And again, that's why I say follow those and turn your notifications on in case you want to be alerted to those things. As far as questions from the community, since it's getting late, I'm going to call an audible and say we're going to postpone those to next week because we'll probably have no news to talk about and we'll just answer those questions and get some more.
Smart.
So with that, we'll end the episode and say goodnight. And first, we'll say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave, Ernsberger, Jacqueline, Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and our other 100+ Patreons. And also, before I continue on, John, thank you very much for coming on the show and substituting for Justin and Marty.
It was a pleasure.
It was very fun to have you on, and you're always welcome to come on anytime.
Next week.
All right, we'll see you next week then. Next, a special thank you to our 14 Twitch subscribers and over 1,452 Twitch followers, and a shout out to our 7,684 YouTube subscribers. Blech. Thank you to everybody who participates one way or another by liking, following us, and doing whatever, and doing Patreon or the Twitch subscribers. I wish there was an easier way to identify Twitch subscribers so that we can, reward you guys too as well. We only know by you telling us in our Discord. So maybe I'll try to get a list going there or something. That way we can start, rewarding you guys as well. But thank you to everybody who does that. And even if you don't pay your way for us to do things, just by liking and subscribing helps to do that as well, or sharing with others about our show. We thank you very much for that. Check out our website at nintendodads.org for links to all of our Spotify podcast feeds, not just to our show, but our family of podcasts like Star Wars Dads, Retro Logic family of podcasts, and all their shows. We have links to our YouTube videos and tweets, links to our social media, Patreon, and our Extra Life page where you can follow us there. And we'll have more details about Extra Life coming up soon. You can join our team or support whoever's on our team. You can get to their links as well there. We also have Nintendo Dads merch on our YouTube channel where you can link. There should be if you're watching us there, you'll see on YouTube, there's probably a row of merch there that you can participate and click and buy and have fun with. So, and don't forget to check out our sponsor, manscaped.com. Get 20% off your Manscaped order with free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS. Again, 20% off your Manscaped order, especially for that new scalp scrubber. Did you guys see that thing? I love a good scalp massage, so I might get me one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for our music throughout the show, and download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please leave us a 5-star review and a comment. Thanks again from Jesse, myself, John, Marty, and Justin. You all have a good night. Bye-bye.
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 Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.